Hi there, folks. This is Beverly. Right. Um, straight away, I'm going to say I'm not criticizing the game, which probably means, oh, she's going to criticize the game. No, no. This is the experimental build. Now, I was building a big city, which I've torn down and started again, just because of improvements, efficiency improvements. But I'll get onto that in a moment. You will see a frame counter in the top corner there, top left-hand corner. It's at the moment it's going at 17, 18 FPS, which is abysmal. Particularly when we're just looking at this little scene of two portable miners. But anyway, I do have a 1070 GTX 1070 with 6 gig of RAM, so really shouldn't. I do have the options really ramped up though onto Ultra, which usually plays very well. Now there's a reason for that. I'm going to put all of them down to medium, except I'm going to turn off motion blur because I don't like it. VSync is on and full screen. There we go. And we'll resume game. So now we've got 18, 19, 20. Right, what's causing this? Well, the big city, which I'm going to turn around in a moment. There's that thing there, which is interesting because it's got lots of foot traffic around it, or evidence of it. So, was that the previous inhabitants? Who knows? Anyway, so we've got them, which I actually forgot to remove, but that's fine. We've got this thing over here, which is basically a long conveyor belt bringing in oil, which is going to get processed. And the big city, if you remember the previous big city, you'll go, that's big. And then we'll come up to look at this, which is an improvement. Not an improvement in FPS though. And we start to get 5 FPS, 6 FPS. And then as we try to maneuver around, it's pretty pants, to be honest. But anyway, there's sections which I haven't completed yet, because I, to be honest, I give up on it. I literally did, because like, oh no. Right, so the main thing about this factory, and I'm going to get up a height so we can have a look. I'll just go right to the top of there, so I'll probably fall and die, but that's okay. It's not, but you know. We will get back to the frame counter in a moment. Right, so the idea is here's your main bus bar, as it were. There we go. And it takes all of the resources and product, etc., and feeds it all the way around and back again. So there's always a tapping point to get whatever you need, which is great. So we can have all of these different things dotted around the place. Takes raw materials from the conveyor belt process it and sticks the resulting product back onto a different conveyor belt. So you get all of this, which is a really good way to do it, in my opinion. Unfortunately, there's quite a lot of stuff going on, so frame rate drops. One moment. Sorry, I had to sneeze, so I muted. And there's the great space whale thing, which glitches, just clips right through. Which okay. So yes, it was starting to get to a point where the game was just freezing every so often, and yeah, making the whole thing a nightmare for you to build. Now, thinking about it, it probably would be. There we go. Can't move. And then you move a few steps. I'm going to just jump onto this conveyor belt here. It'll probably be safer. And there, right. So yes, it started to get to a point where it was like really too slow for it to do anything. Thinking about it, perhaps if I walled everything in with windowless walls, it would improve things, because you're not looking and visually seeing all of the working mechanisms, as it were. Oh, I'll grab some of that. There we go, and that, just while I'm passing. So yeah, so I thought, well, okay, maybe I'll start another processing area and building area, etc. So I had to build a lot more stuff in the big factory area to help. Now I could have conveyor belted all of the stuff over to the new area. Trouble is, that would just be adding to all of the problems with having so much assets, so many assets, buildings, etc., constructions. I decided to go with a supply chain with the trucks. So all of those things from the conveyor belt, which are still going around because these are tap-ins, so it comes in, splits it off and puts them into these containers here, and then it brings them over here. Now, this is a huge mess, I must admit. It is a mess. But I don't care now, to be honest. So we've got them coming in and then going to truck stops. Now what I'm doing is I'm multiplexing. So we've got 32 commodities. Some stuff hasn't been put onto those. So there's probably about 28, 26, 28, but there's 32 individual containers. So the potential of 32 different commodities and resources coming in. And then them are getting multiplex. So each truck stop will handle two separate ones. So we've got cables and pipes. They're not in any particular order. It's just what came off on the conveyor belts and was, readily available to stick into the truck stop. And that's what we've got here. I'm almost completed putting in all of the routes, the automation routes. That's just waiting. I've put in a delay, make them wait there for a while, just to ensure that they are full. And I'll go around the route. So basically they come in, there we go again. Come down this way, pick up from one of these things, and then toddle along. They refill at this one point instead of sending a conveyor belt of fuel to every single one. They'll come here and refuel and purely refuel here. I did end up adding an extra one, which I'll show you in a moment, because sometimes what they'll do is they'll bash themselves out the way and they don't actually refuel. So yeah, because I'll come down here, and then I added one here, an extra one here, because they all pass this point, so they will all pick up some fuel, even though they don't stop. But that's fine. Now there is that one over there. I'm just waiting for that to move, which it should do in a moment. Unless it has run out of fuel. I'll go and just check. It possibly has. Yes, it has. There you go. That will pick up fuel anyway, so 8 is okay. So as I say, it goes here, it gets fueled up. It has a bit of a crash because it does. I'm just going to check the yeah, 98, that's fine. And then I'll get confused again, because they do sometimes, but that's okay. It'll work itself out. There you go. And then we'll follow this over to the new area. They'll probably get hung up on that because I did add them later, but it'll reverse back and then sort itself out. This only really applies when I'm actually in this area and I can visually see it. Otherwise, it makes no real. I've noticed it doesn't make any difference when it's just far away. That one's doing something else. Has got nothing to do with the production one here. And there, that one, it picked up a little bit more, like it did there, got triggered. So we go all the way down here. There's a lot of slugs which I'm going to have to pick up, and I still haven't touched any of the crash sites. But that's okay. Now there's an interesting spot up here on this side further up, which will probably be I don't know, might have something to do with the story once they write that. Now frame rate's starting to pick up a bit now, 17, 16, 18, which is good. I can live with that, to be honest, though I'm sure the devs will be putting in some optimizations. I hope they will. One of the big things about that is because it is a game which is designed specifically to get you to build lots of things. So you would imagine they must have, well, you would hope they must have some kind of plan to tackle this exact issue. Now, it would be wonderful if I had 60 frames a second. Of course, OBS is recording at 60 frames a second, but that doesn't mean to say that what's coming through to OBS is 60 frames a second. Now this is the spot here, which in the middle of it, you've got one of those big crater things. Well, it is a crater, sorry, those meteorite things. So that's interesting. That might end up being a part of some plot. And there we go, we froze again. It's because we see some of them on the resource nodes, which you have to explode. So that'll be interesting to see what they're going to be doing with the story. 'Cause, 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 Some of these things I should have cleared up before, but I didn't get around to doing it. I'll do that now because I do have some explosives. Now the problem with clicking and double clicking seems to be getting worse because in line with the frame rates, etc. And you can't get rid of that one. Okay. So right, I'll tell you what, I'll stick a foundation there just so I can come out a bit. Still can't get rid of it. Let's have a look, see if I can get it closer. There you are. No. Okay, I'll try to get it up at the top there. No. So that's odd. And that will, that is related to something else I'm going to be showing in a moment. Yes, there are quite a few trucks about. Now, I went with the tractors because they are smaller and a lot more maneuverable. I tried with the big trucks and they tended to have a bit more issue with maneuverability and all that kind of thing. And trying to get them all into a smaller area was quite laughable because they are so big. So yes, I went with the small tractors, and they work quite nicely, particularly when a lot of this stuff is happening far away because the way that the game handles it, it's like we'll just flew two things. We're not going to bother with you know, bashing into each other and all that. That doesn't matter. It's only when the player's watching. That's what I'm assuming, which is a decent way to deal with it, to be honest. There's another one which I'll see if I can remove that one just now because it's just there, it's close, and then come back to this point here. Try not to get run over. And there we see frame rates really dropping because we can see that city, that big factory city over there. As soon as you... Nope, I didn't think it would because it's quite big. I'm not going to bother trying to explode it from underneath right now. It might work. There's another one. Right, I'm going to just run out the way. Right, so anyway, so the trucks, the tractors I should say, come around this way. And then onto the staging area here, which is the reverse of the truck stops back that way. It loads them off and puts them into storage containers, which I shall conveyor and split, of course. I have the ability to make the smart splitters now. And there we go. Oh, back to right down to 0 again. I don't know if that's save lag or not. the automated save. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. So anyway, you've got them all coming this way. These ones up here, I haven't yet recorded the paths, but I will do, possibly. So we've got all of this stuff coming in here. As you can see, they're not going anywhere because I haven't finished. Now the plan was to start building down here. And that was great, yes. Reason being is because it's in a, in a dean, a valley, or whatever you want to call it. Which means you won't be seeing the city. I will be removing the, moving the hub and the space elevator over here. And this is where it starts to get a bit interesting. We've got this area over here, and it's like, actually, once you got rid of all of the trees, etc., it's going to be pretty good. Relatively flat, because you can just concrete over the lot. And then it's like, okay, so I haven't got as many as I did have. Well, okay, that's fine. I don't really need all the biofuel. So instead of going around picking up or using the chainsaws, what I'll do is this. So I'll just come along and, oh, there's a tree, right? Throw this up there and, oh. Okay, it stuck to it. That one didn't. Okay, hold on. Well, tell you what. Okay. No, there's the problem again, you see, with clicking and dragging and stuff. Right, so we'll cut. We'll cut it. You can't. Okay. Well, oh. Now, we've got phantom objects as well. See, there's no actual plant there. There's the outline thing, but if you cut that, then, oh, area of effect kicks in, which then destroys the tree. There you see. See, invisible plants. And it's not just one. It's all of these. And invisible ones as well there. Got that one. That one's in lots of invisible plants here. But at least you can still get rid of the trees. Oh, there's an invisible one as well. So the trees don't have the mesh, nor do they have a collision mesh, which is like, oh, that one does. Hooray! So that is peculiar. Now, one of the problems with this is if they've got a lot of phantom assets which don't have textures, but they've got like a presence, shall we say. Depending on what the ratio is to real plants, as in ones like this, which has an actual asset, it's also got a collision mesh and all that kind of stuff. If there's a load more which don't, then they're still being rendered, but they don't actually have any purpose. And that's going to severely reduce your experience, because it has to be processed, so it's taken up CPU time and GPU time to do these things. So you're going to get a real impact on performance, and there's a one. So that would potentially impact on the FPS. So just by making sure that this is sorted out would be should improve things considerably. Get rid of all of the stuff that doesn't need to be, like this one here. This one's quite a big one. It doesn't exist. And yes, there is an actual collision mesh there. You can't actually walk past it. You can even climb a little bit of it. It doesn't exist. So that has to be fixed. Really, it does. Toot sweet. And I hope the devs do. Now we'll switch back over to the Splodies. Thankfully that did work. But that doesn't on the tree. And then we've got some of those appear and then disappear. You see them ones there as well. As I say, this is the experimental branch. I'm not criticizing it. I'm not saying, oh, it's rubbish. No, what I'm saying is there's some room for optimization and bug fixing, which the game does have some. Now, problem is here, which could have been a problem, is I've just exploded that. Now that's getting rid of the undergrowth, but not the tree. So hopefully, to get the area of effect to work, I need to find a nearby leaf that I can cut down, which is close enough to that which will destroy it. Which it is. That is the case there. Now the water around here doesn't look quite as nice as it usually does, but anyway. There's another one of those phantom ones. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of work involved, a lot more than usual to clear all this out. I was kind of like hoping just to blitz the area with Noblisk. But that is not going to be the case. But that's okay. So that's what I'm basically going to do around here. Now what I'll do is I'll just make a processing plant to make biofuel. Might as well, because I'm not going to waste it all. If I'm going to end up collecting it, because I can't just explode everything, then I might as well make use of it. It'll also be interesting to discover where this issue starts. It probably is because you can't really even say it's at the extremes of the map. It's pretty central, to be honest, by the looks of it, on that map there. So, yeah. So that all needs to be fixed, because this would make a pretty good area down here once I get it all concreted over. And as I say, it stops having to look at the city over there. But I will persevere. Though, understandably, it is... There we go again. it is understandable that it may be an annoyance. Also, just for your information, I am running this game. It is installed and run from an SSD, Samsung Evo. So it's not, waiting for spinning platters and waiting for heads to move to get to a different sector and all that kind of stuff. It's SSD, so that should. Okay. That is bizarre. Oh, yeah, and that can be a bit of a problem at times. How on earth did you get there? Just asking for a friend. How on earth did you get there? That's probably be because of the caused by the frame rate issues and lag. Uh, 4 frames a second. I saw the city. That is the problem. This, as I was saying, it's understandable that I might start getting a little bit frustrated by the game. Yeah. Mm. So as I say, I hope they do. I hope they do fix the problems. I'm just wondering where are you going now? Oh, okay, you've sorted yourself out. Okay, that's fine. You no, you haven't. What are you doing? They're not usually this misbehaved. It's the first time I've seen one that was like so. Anyway, that's just funny actually. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the improvements and optimization. Um, Otherwise, it's going to end up being frustrating. Um, as I say, the game engine is built on the whole idea that you will make big factories, but the game, as it is at the moment, can't handle a big factory. It can't, not without losing a lot of FPS. But we shall see. We shall see. I like the game. This is why I put so much time into it, including getting in the top 10 world record for the speed runs on Satisfactory. So, yes, I do like it. I just hope that they do come up with a cunning plan. Anyway, that's all I'm going to. As I say, it's not a criticism. It's more like there's some problems that they need to be fixed. And yes, this is a common outcry, and it's not really an outcry on my part, but it is a common outcry with any game that's in early access. It's like, yeah, you need to fix it. Yeah, that's the whole point of early access. I'm aware of that, and that's brilliant. But I hope they will work on it some more. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. As I always say, if you like my videos, please click like, click on subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want, click on the notification bell so you can be told when I put more content online. Um, Thanks very much for watching. This is Commander Beverly Hunter. Until next time, take care. Bye.